Marina Mabrey just broke her silence about that brutal shove on Caitlin Clark, and what she said will make your blood boil. After months of silence following the third quarter incident on June 17th that had the entire WNBA world talking, Mabrey finally opened her mouth. But instead of taking accountability, she did something that shows exactly why fans can't stand her. She blamed Clark for the attack. The timing of this statement is suspicious, and there might be a very specific reason why Mabrey is suddenly speaking up now. With whispers of an investigation leading to a prolonged suspension or even an outright ban. Do you think Mabrey should be banned from the league? Let me know down in the comments below.
Going to look like Marina Mabrey has broken her silence finally about shoving Caitlin Clark.
I feel like you're trying to come fast because now they're talking about investigations and now you're terrified. Now you're scared. Now you're shook.
You need to understand exactly how this whole mess began, because what happened in that third quarter went way beyond normal basketball. J.C. Sheldon was defending Clark closely, trying to steal the ball, but her hand went straight into Clark's face. The contact was direct and forceful. Clark's eye took the full impact.
Third quarter we go. They're trailing by 10. Keep an eye on her and J.C. Sheldon. Clark trying to back her down.
Clark is okay.
Sheldon, that was Clark, hitting her in the face. Clark is upset about that. Then everybody's upset about that. Marina Mabrey comes in. She decks Clark, tempers flaring on both sides.
Clark's reaction was immediate and telling. Her hand shot up to her face, covering the eye that Sheldon had just poked. The pain was obvious. Clark then pushed Sheldon away from her, a natural defensive response to being hit in the face. But here's what really tells you everything about Sheldon's mindset during this play. She acted like absolutely nothing had happened. No concern for Clark, no acknowledgement of the contact, nothing.
Hey,
I mean, is that displacement? I think it is.
Oh, and Marina Mabrey is going to get ejected. If the officials saw that, Marina Mabrey is going to get ejected.
Well, they're going to go and look at it. Look at Mabrey. She's got a scar on one side, a scratch on one side of her face, a scratch on the other side. It's not from the game today. I asked her about it. She's always in the mix. There's a lot of contact here. There's a scrape across the face. That's what Clark didn't like.
The officials completely missed what everyone else saw. The crowd started buzzing because thousands of people could see the severity of the eye poke, but the referees somehow couldn't. They called it a common foul initially. A common foul for sticking your finger into someone's eye. The disconnect between what actually happened and what the officials called was massive. Clark showed exactly why she's different from other players in that moment. She didn't flop around on the ground. She didn't cry to the referees. She didn't make a big scene. Clark just kept playing through the obvious discomfort and pain. That's leadership right there. That's what separates stars from everyone else. Sheldon's body language after the poke revealed everything you needed to know about her intentions. She knew exactly what she had done. She expected no consequences. She was right to expect that because the officials were completely asleep at the wheel. The way Sheldon carried herself after poking Clark in the eye showed she thought she could get away with anything.
Take another look as we try to figure out what exactly went down. So you see her get hit in the face. J.C. Sheldon doesn't like that, and everybody on the team doesn't like it. Marina, trying to have her teammates back, pushes her down. You see a little bit of drama all the way around. Tina, Charles, Clark, and Mabrey, they received technical fouls. Sheldon received a flagrant 1 foul.
The crowd kept getting louder because they could see the replay on the big screens. Fans were pointing at the screens showing the eye poke over and over again. The evidence was right there for everyone to see except the people who actually mattered. The referees had blown the call completely. Only after a video review did the officials finally get it right. They upgraded Sheldon's foul to a flagrant 1. Crew Chief Ashley Gloss explained the foul was deemed unnecessary due to the contact made to Clark's face, noting the wind-up and impact and the potential for injury. But that correction came too late. The damage was already done. That delayed justice created the perfect storm for what Marina Mabrey was about to do next. She had watched Clark's reaction to the eye poke. She had seen Clark push Sheldon away, and somehow, in her twisted logic, that gave her permission to escalate the situation even further. The eye poke had lit the fuse, but Mabrey was about to blow the house down.
The moment came in the third quarter after Fever guard Caitlin Clark was poked in the eye by Sun guard J.C. Sheldon while Sheldon was playing defense. This led to a brief scuffle between Clark and Sheldon. Actually, it led to J.C. just kept running up on. I watched the video again. I was like, why is she doing that? Clark is obviously trying to get some space away from her, and she made it worse, which prompted Connecticut veteran Marina Mabrey to come up and shove Clark to the ground. Is that what we're calling it? Because it wasn't a shove. It was, I'm going to drive my entire body into your body. That's what that was.
What happens next exposes everything wrong with how the WNBA protects its biggest star. Marina Mabrey had been watching Clark's every move after that eye poke incident. She saw Clark push Sheldon away from her face. She saw Clark's frustration. And in her mind, that gave her the green light to do something absolutely inexcusable. The play developed quickly after an Indiana turnover. Clark was moving up court when Mabrey made her decision. This wasn't a basketball play. This wasn't incidental contact during normal game action. Mabrey stepped directly into Clark's path and used her full body weight to knock the league's most valuable player to the floor. The contact was violent and deliberate.
And then Marina Mabrey comes out of nowhere and chucks her to the floor. Now let's watch this in slow motion. Here, J.C. Sheldon is guarding Caitlin, swipes her in the face. There's one. Going for the ball, swipes her in the eyeball. Caitlin's gonna have to start wearing goggles. And then Caitlin pushes her off of her, like, why are you still in my face? Marina Mabrey, bad out of hell, chucks Caitlin Clark to the ground.
Clark went down hard. The crowd noise reached a different level because everyone could see this was dangerous. Everyone except the people wearing referee uniforms. Crew chief Ashley Gloss made the decision that will haunt her career. She determined that Mabrey's violent body check didn't warrant an ejection. Let that sink in for a moment. Mabrey knocked down Caitlin Clark with a full body shove and got to stay in the game.
Now after this, you guys, of course, the referees are going to review the play because that's a lot of contact going on right there. That's a lot of unnecessary contact. That's a lot of non-basketball contact happening during this play, right? So the three referees that I like to say, they got them straight out of Sephora because I don't think these referees have ever refereed a professional basketball game in their life. They took these referees, they were at the monitor, they looked at it for, I'm not even exaggerating, you guys, like 15 minutes. 15 minutes they are watching this play over and over.
The message this sent was crystal clear. You can target the league's biggest star and face minimal consequences. Mabrey stayed on the court while Clark had to pick herself up off the hardwood. The optics were terrible. The precedent was even worse. The WNBA was telling every player in the league that attacking Caitlin Clark comes with a slap on the wrist. Coach Stephanie White's reaction on the Fever sideline said everything you needed to know about the situation. White knew exactly what had happened. She knew her star player had been targeted. She knew the officials had completely failed to protect Clark. White's facial expression showed pure disbelief at what she was witnessing.
The reporters at the time, the announcers here are saying, of course, Marina Mabrey is going to get ejected because that was unwarranted. She literally came out of nowhere and chucked Caitlin Clark. There should be a flagrant one, of course, on J.C. Sheldon because she swiped her and hit her in the eyeball. Whether it is intentional or not, you can still have a flagrant a flagrant foul called on you, whether you are trying to intentionally hurt somebody or not. But this is what they called, you guys. This is what they called. Caitlin Clark, Marina Mabrey, Tina Charles were assessed with technical fouls on Tuesday. Caitlin, Marina, and Tina Charles. Technical fouls. That's it. Technical fouls. That's it. And J.C. Sheldon was assessed with a flagrant 1 foul, and no players were ejected.
The technical fouls that got handed out afterward felt meaningless. Both teams got technicals like participation trophies. One player had crossed the line into dangerous territory. The other had been the victim of that attack, but the officials treated them like they were equally at fault. That's not justice. That's not even close to fair.
Mabrey concluded, So at the end of the day, it was a play on the ball when she did it, and I probably overreacted a little, but my teammate is getting hit, and I'm not okay with that. It wasn't like I hate her. Here I do. I don't do stuff like that. Everybody knows that I've never done that before. It's fascinating to hear maybe reflecting on a moment that vilified her to a huge portion of WNBA fan base. Yeah. Marina Mabrey, that was dirty. Let's just be clear here. That was dirty. You know it was dirty. You know what you did was dirty, Marina Mabrey.
The crowd erupted because thousands of people could see what the referees somehow couldn't. The replay showed the obvious intent behind Mabrey's actions. The slow-motion video revealed the calculated nature of the contact. Yet somehow the officials missed all of that in real time. Only after massive public outcry did the league finally admit their officials had blown another crucial call. The WNBA upgraded Mabrey's foul to a flagrant 2 the next day. They admitted their referees got it completely wrong when it mattered most. The post-game correction felt hollow because the damage had already been done.
This not only incited several technical fouls, but it prompted Fever enforcer Sophie Cunningham to essentially start a brawl by grabbing and throwing Sheldon down to the ground 1 quarter later. Mabrey gets honest. 2 days after the shove, heard around the women's basketball world, Mabrey was heard saying, quote, "Damned if I do, damned if I don't," when addressing a commentator on the Instagram live stream who called her out for shoving Clark.
The pattern was becoming obvious and deeply troubling. The WNBA couldn't protect their biggest star when she actually needed protection. They could only fix their mistakes after the fact when public pressure forced their hand. That's not acceptable for any player, let alone the face of the entire league.
Quote, "I thought it only got upgraded to a flagrant 2 because of the way the fans reacted to it," Mabrey said of the shove on Clark. "They gave me a technical for it initially. I don't care, honestly. I really don't. Obviously, I'm not trying to hurt anybody. I'm not trying to go after certain players for certain shit. Me and Caitlin were cool. Me and Caitlin have competed against each other in the playoffs. She threw me into the benches in the quarterfinals. We didn't go after her for it. She's competitive. I was about trying to get the ball. I get it. Throw me out of bounds. We got back up and kept competing." Yeah, but the problem is when this incident happened, you were not competing. There was not actual basketball being played. There was not.
Here's where Marina Mabrey's true character gets exposed and why she suddenly decided to speak up months later. Instead of taking responsibility for her actions, she came out with comments that will make any Caitlin Clark fan absolutely furious. She claims Clark was punking their team and somehow deserved the violent response she got. Her exact words reveal everything you need to know about her mindset. She said, "I know when I went too far with things, and it's shameful. It's like, really, Marina, that was ridiculous." So, for example, the Caitlin thing. When the play was over and everyone was like, "That was obvious that my emotions of us losing and losing and losing," and then she's like low-key punking our team on top of it, like that was too far. Like that was too much.
Balance. Like, what do you think is perfect? Like a perfect
Like,
balance
I think,
for it?
Like, I'm 100% like aware. I know when I went too far with things. Like, and it's like shameful. It's like, really, Marina, like that was ridiculous. So like, for example, the Caitlin thing, like when the play was over and everyone was like, that was obvious that my emotions of us losing and losing and losing, and then she's like low-key punking our team on top of it. Like that was too far. Like that was too much.
Notice how she starts by admitting she overreacted, but then she immediately shifts blame to Clark. She admits to overreacting a little bit, but then makes it sound like Clark's competitive play style justified a dangerous shove. That's not how accountability works. That's not how adults handle their mistakes. The timing of these comments isn't random at all. Whispers about a potential civil rights investigation into Clark's workplace treatment have been making rounds throughout the league. Players are getting worried about potential consequences. The Wall Street Journal has highlighted concerns about a hostile work environment surrounding Clark's treatment in the WNBA. That kind of scrutiny has players like Mabrey scrambling.
Marina Mabrey, that slime ball that viciously attacked Caitlin Clark, blindsided her like she was in a football game. Ridiculous.
Mabrey's calculated response feels like pure damage control. She's trying to get ahead of potential consequences by painting herself as the victim of her own emotions. She wants everyone to believe that Clark somehow provoked her into violence. That's manipulation at its finest. Her excuse that Clark was being too aggressive completely ignores basic facts about competitive basketball. Superior skill doesn't justify putting someone's safety at risk. Clark was doing exactly what every great player does. She was dominating the game. The Connecticut Sun were struggling badly at that time. Clark was embarrassing them with her play.
A whistle was blown. It was a dead ball. It wasn't a live play. Stop playing games. Some of y'all got to stop playing games and acting like we stupid, because we're really not. We're really not. Marina Mabrey, what you did was dirty, and you have fallen. Now see what it is you trying to get all the people off your you know what. Because we on you, we're not going to leave it alone. We're going to stay on you. We're not going nowhere. And you tired of it. So now you're copping pleas and trying to say, oh yeah, it wasn't. No, yes, it was dirty.
The punking comment reveals her real mindset during that game. She saw Clark's success and skill as disrespectful rather than just superior basketball. She took Clark's dominance personally. She let her ego get in the way of professional conduct. Mabrey also showed her dismissive attitude toward the league's disciplinary process. She said, I thought it only got upgraded to a flagrant 2 because of the way the fans reacted to it. They gave me a tech for it. I don't care, honestly. I really don't. She's undermining the integrity of the officiating process while showing zero genuine remorse. Her victim-blaming rhetoric backfires completely. It makes her look even worse while highlighting Clark's professionalism throughout the entire incident. Clark handled the situation with class. Mabrey handled it like a player who couldn't accept being outplayed. Her desperate attempt to control the narrative only proves she knows exactly how bad her actions were. Otherwise, why would she be talking about it months later?
Your action caused an entire brawl because now Sophie Cunningham had to come in the game and get Caitlin Clark's lick back. She had to come in and protect her teammate because of your wrongdoing. You didn't have no reason to be blindsiding her like that. No reason. And what are you even doing this year? Are you even playing this year? Marina Mabrey, are you playing? I ain't seen you play in a long time. And y'all stink.
This incident becomes the turning point that transforms the Indiana Fever into something special. Sophie Cunningham saw what happened to Caitlin Clark. She watched J.C. Sheldon poke Clark in the eye. She watched Marina Mabrey knock Clark to the floor. She watched the officials fail to protect the league's biggest star. Cunningham decided to take matters into her own hands. In the final minute of the game, Sheldon drove for a layup. Cunningham was waiting for her. The hard foul that followed wasn't subtle. It wasn't accidental. Cunningham sent a message that attacking Clark comes with consequences, even if the officials won't provide them. The referees assessed it as a flagrant 2 foul. Cunningham got ejected automatically. She didn't care.
Sophie commits a hard foul on J.C. Sheldon. Again, as J.C. Sheldon is going up for a layup, Sophie bear hugs her and takes her to the ground. What I will say is Sophie did not grab her and throw her to the ground. She didn't body slam her. She didn't do anything, in my personal opinion. Maybe I'm biased here, but I'm gonna give you guys my straight up honest opinion on this. She bear hugged her, took her to the ground. Yes, it was intentional. It was absolutely intentional.
The entire Fever roster rallied around their star during the chaos. Lexi Hull stepped up when tensions rose. Natasha Howard had Clark's back on every possession. Aaliyah Boston provided the veteran leadership the team needed. Kelsey Mitchell showed her support throughout the drama. This wasn't just 5 players on the court anymore. The Fever had become a family. Coach Stephanie White made her position crystal clear after the game. She called out the officials publicly for losing control of the situation. White said, "Yo, everybody's getting better, except the officials." She felt the referees allowed tensions to escalate throughout the game. She knew her comments would probably cost her a fine. She didn't care about that either. The Fever organization wouldn't stay silent about unfair treatment.
When the officials don't get control of the ball game, when they allow that stuff to happen, and it's been happening all season long. All season long. It's not just this game, it's been happening all season long. This is what happens, right? This is what happens. You've got competitive women who are the best in the world at what they do, right? And when you allow them to play physical and you allow these things to happen, they're going to compete and they're going to have their teammates' backs. It's exactly what you expect, right? Out of fierce competition. So I started talking to the officials in the first quarter, and we knew this was going to happen. You could tell it was going to happen. So they got to get control of it. They got to be better.
Clark's composure throughout the entire sequence proves why she's built for greatness. From the eye poke to the shove to the aftermath, she never lost her cool. She never retaliated. She never let the chaos affect her focus. Clark just kept playing basketball at the highest level. That's what separates superstars from everyone else. Her performance numbers tell the whole story. Clark finished with 20 points and 6 assists in that game. She made 4 three-pointers, including a big one late over Sheldon. After that three-pointer, Clark posted on social media saying, "You like that? I do." She was letting everyone know she wouldn't be intimidated. She sank 3 technical free throws after the Sheldon Mabrey incident without missing. That's ice in her veins. The Fever's 88-71 victory over the Connecticut Sun secured their spot in the Commissioner's Cup final for the first time in franchise history. They won, despite all the physicality and drama. They overcame the poor officiating. They showed they could handle adversity and come out stronger.
Ms. Clark's targeting may reflect a culture of disparate treatment, and the evidence provides reasonable cause for a federal probe into potential civil rights violations. Am I making it up now? Remember I said this months ago. Remember I talked about people being jealous. The Cheryl Swoops of the world and others. Remember I pointed that stuff out? Remember I talked about the rough housing?
Fans and media praised Cunningham for her actions. They saw her as an enforcer who protected Clark when officials wouldn't. The team's identity shifted that night. They became a group that fights back against rough play. They demonstrated the kind of team chemistry that championship runs are built on. The foundation for an unstoppable 2026 season was laid right there on that court. Marina Mabrey's attempt to rewrite history only makes Caitlin Clark and the Fever look stronger. Her desperate damage control reveals the lengths some players will go to justify inexcusable behavior. Her victim-blaming comments backfire completely while highlighting Clark's professionalism throughout the chaos. The 2026 season can't come fast enough because this Fever team has found its identity. They protect each other and refuse to back down. Sophie Cunningham's retaliation sent a clear message. Lexi Hull, Natasha Howard, Aaliyah Boston, and Kelsey Mitchell all showed their commitment to the family they've built. Clark's journey from target to protected superstar shows what happens when talent meets the right support system. Do you think Mabrey should be banned from the league? Let me know down in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen, and we will see you in the next one.